The Indiana Fever didn't just lose Game 5. They had it stolen. Think about it. Aaliyah Boston fouled out on a clean rebound. Kelsey Mitchell got hacked so many times she ended up in the hospital. Odyssey Sims dropped 27 points despite being clipped on nearly every drive. And through it all, the whistle never leaned Indiana's way. This wasn't basketball. This was robbery. And the evidence is impossible to ignore. This was the breaking point. With just seconds left, Boston battled for a rebound. Textbook defense, nothing dirty. But the refs blew the whistle anyway. Her 6th foul, out of the game. Replay showed 2 players fighting for position, but the officials turned it into a death sentence. Fever fans erupted, commentators gasped, and Vegas walked to the line for free points. It wasn't just a call. It was the call that ripped Indiana's heart out. And if that wasn't enough, look at Kelsey Mitchell. She was unstoppable, raining threes, attacking the rim, proving why she's one of the league's most dynamic guards. But all night, defenders draped over her, hacking on every cut. No whistles. By the 3rd quarter, her body gave out, cramping so badly she had to be carried off and taken to the hospital. Indiana's star guard was done, not because Vegas stopped her, but because the refs refused to protect her. Yet even then, the Fever refused to fold. Odyssey Sims, a player signed on a hardship contract, stepped in and delivered the game of her life. She dropped 27 points, attacked relentlessly, and finished through contact that never got called. Every basket was defiance, proof that Indiana wasn't going to roll over no matter how tilted the game became. But her brilliance only made one thing clearer. The Fever weren't just fighting Vegas. They were fighting the whistle itself. This wasn't an isolated incident. From the moment the series began, fans noticed something off. Every time Indiana made a run, the rhythm was broken by a whistle. Boston picked up touch fouls that wouldn't be called in a pickup gym. Meanwhile, Mitchell and Hull were getting slammed on drives without so much as a glance from the officials. By Game 3, the imbalance was glaring. The free throw chart didn't lie. The Aces lived at the line, while the Fever lived through contact. Free throws don't just add points, they swing momentum. Every whistle against Indiana killed their energy. Every free throw for Vegas gave them easy buckets without breaking a sweat. Coach Stephanie White admitted it herself. How do you draw up a strategy when one screen is called illegal one trip, then ignored the next? The Fever weren't just trying to beat the champs. They were trying to solve an impossible equation where the rules changed possession by possession. By Game 5, whistles felt like weapons. Boston was hit with a soft-moving screen. Minutes later, she picked up another foul on a clear flop. And when it mattered most, she was gone, disqualified on her 6th. The Aces didn't have to beat Boston. The refs took care of it. The moment she walked off, Vegas smelled blood. But Boston wasn't the only one being targeted that night. Lexie Hull had no business even being on the floor. Her back injury should have sidelined her. Instead, she played through pain and turned in one of her gutsiest performances. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and endless defensive hustle. Yet she absorbed punishment all night. Shoved to the ground, hacked across drives, flattened on rebounds. At one point, she was hit so hard fans expected a flagrant review. Nothing, just another silent whistle. But Hull didn't stop, and after the game, her words proved she was more than just a player. She became the voice of accountability. When the buzzer sounded and emotions boiled over, Hull didn't make excuses. She talked about fight, about pride, about sending the game to overtime despite losing both Boston and Mitchell. Her message was clear. Indiana doesn't fold. The officiating might have tilted, but the Fever's spirit never broke. Fans rallied behind her, turning her post-game words into a rallying cry. In that moment, Hull went from role player to leader, and Fever Nation noticed. Lost in the chaos was Shea Petty, who gave the Fever exactly what they needed at the right moments. 13 points, 3 from deep, and the confidence to shoot when the offense stalled. Those threes kept Indiana alive, forced Vegas to defend honestly, and gave Sims the space to attack. Petty's contribution wasn't flashy, but in a game where the refs stole so much, her poise gave the Fever breathing room. She was the quiet hero, reminding everyone that winning takes more than stars. It takes players who seize their moments. On paper, Indiana should have been buried. 8 injured players, their best guard carried off, their all-star fouled out. Yet somehow the game went to overtime. It felt like 5-on-8, but Indiana clawed back anyway. That's why fans say the Fever didn't lose. They endured. This wasn't about X's and O's anymore. It was about heart, grit, and refusing to disappear. In the middle of chaos, Indiana proved they belong on the biggest stage. What fans realized that night was simple. This wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Boston showed she can anchor a team under the brightest lights. Mitchell proved she can drop points on elite defenses. Sims gave a reminder that depth can change series. Hull became a leader. And with Caitlin Clark set to return, the Fever's future suddenly looks terrifying. This wasn't just one playoff run. It was the blueprint of a dynasty in the making. 6 season-ending injuries. Hardship contracts just to keep a rotation. Their biggest star sidelined most of the year. Any other team would have folded, not Indiana. Instead, they beat higher seeds, fought elimination games, and nearly knocked off the defending champs. Those scars aren't just wounds. They're proof of survival. When a team learns how to fight like this, they don't just recover. They come back stronger. Ask the players, and they'll tell you what made the difference. Culture. Every new face added to the locker room felt connected. Every player added toughness. Mitchell, Boston, Hull, Cunningham. Together they built something more powerful than talent alone. A culture of grit, togetherness, and fight. And when Clark slides back in, she'll step into not just a team, but a foundation. Imagine Caitlin Clark rejoining this group. Her vision, her shooting, her ability to stretch defenses. Insert that into a roster that just pushed a dynasty to overtime without her. Next season, the Fever won't just be playoff survivors. They'll be contenders. Vegas may be celebrating now, but they've already seen the preview, and the preview was terrifying. Game 5 was stolen. That much feels undeniable. But in the robbery, something bigger was born. Indiana didn't just lose. They exposed the cracks in officiating. They built a culture of resilience. They proved they could challenge a dynasty with half a roster. And they turned heartbreak into belief. The Fever were robbed of a finals berth, but what they built will last longer than one series. The question now isn't what was taken from Indiana. It's what the rest of the league is about to lose. Because the Fever aren't backing down. They're coming back stronger, hungrier, and ready to take what's theirs.